So we want to talk about solving and graphing some inequalities involving absolute values. Let's start with something really simple. Suppose we have absolute value of x is smaller than or equal to, say, 5. What does this mean? That means that x itself must be smaller than or equal to 5, but yet greater than or equal to -5. And it is not that hard to see in a number line why that is the case. So if this is a number line right here, let's say if -5 is in here and +5 is in here and all these numbers in between. Of course, the 5 and any number smaller than that, like in these areas, okay, we know absolute value of that is smaller than 5. And let's say that 0 is going to be right here. But here, -1 and -2 and -3 and on and on. The absolute value of, let's say, -1 is +1. Is +1 smaller than or equal to 5? Yes, it is. How about -2? How about -3? How about -4.5, -4.6, and on and on. So graphically, I could show that this is, well, this is one way I show. The other way that I can show, as we discussed before, is from -5 to +5, and all these values in between -5 and +5 are included. All right, I could, with number interval, using number intervals, I could say from -5 to +5. Let's do another example. Suppose this time we have absolute value of 3x is smaller than, let's say, 12. So now I know that 3x is smaller than 12. At the same time, it's greater than, or it's greater than -12. Okay, now if I divide both sides of this, all three sides of this inequality by 3, I would get -4 in here, I would get x in here, and 12 by 3 is 4. So now this time, the -4 is not included. I'm going to use parentheses. And +4 is not included, so I'm going to use parentheses. Once again, you could use empty hole for -4 and +4 and the numbers in between. Using interval notation, of course, from -4 to +4 with parentheses, because I don't have equal sign, -4, it's not included, +4 is not included. Let's do one involving, say, decimals. Suppose I have absolute value of 2x minus 3 smaller than or equal to 0.4. Now, this means that 2x minus 3 is between -0.4 and +0.4. If I add 3 to all three sides of this inequality, 3 minus 0.4 gives me 2.6, smaller than or equal. So I have 2x, and adding 3 to both sides, to the right side, I get 3.4. Multiplying all three sides by 1/2, I get 1/2 of 2.3 is 1.3, smaller than or equal to x. And 3.4 divided by 2 is 1.7. Okay, so here it is. 1.3 here, 1.7 in here, and all the values in between. All right, let's do one that has a little bit more work to do. Suppose I have this times 7 times x plus 2, absolute value of x plus 2 plus 5 greater than 4. Now, it would be a mistake for me to say that all this is between 4 and -4, because we must isolate the absolute value. Before anything else, we must absolutely, isolate the absolute value. So what I'm going to do in here, I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides of this inequality. So I'm going to say 7 absolute value of x plus 2, and that's going to be greater than, and here is a -1. So now I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 7, or you can think of it as multiplying both sides of this inequality by 1/7. So I would get absolute value of x plus 2 is greater than -1/7. So now that I have my absolute value isolated, now I can claim that x plus 2 is between -1/7 and +1/7. Now I'm going to subtract 2 from all 3 sides. So on the left-hand side, let's see, I get -13/7 x and -15/7. And let me use number line in here. So let's say -15/7, which is a smaller number than -13, -13/7. So, and every value is in between, but -15/7 and -13/7 are not included. Let's do one last one for the sake of practice. Suppose I have 8 minus 2x minus 1 greater than or equal to 6. So we said that the first thing we need to do is to isolate the absolute value by itself. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, subtract 8 from both sides. So if I subtract 8 from here and -8 from here, I'm going to get minus absolute value of 2x minus 1 is greater than or equal to -2. Okay, so this negative out here, just like a -1 times that. So now I have to multiply both sides of this inequality by -1 to get rid of this negative in here. So I get absolute value of 2x minus 1. And remember that with inequalities, if you multiply or divide by a negative value, I must turn the sign around. It is absolutely necessary for me to do that. So this becomes +2, -2 divided by -1, or -2 times -1, same thing, is +2. Now I'm going to go ahead and claim that 2x minus 1 is between, here's my 2 and here's my -2. And if I add 1 to all 3 sides of this inequality, I get -1, 2x, 3. And now I'm going to multiply all 3 sides, every side of this inequality by 1/2, multiply by 1/2 or divide by 2. So I'm getting, let me change color, -1/2 x 3/2. Okay, and showing the answer. So I have -1/2 in here. And I have +3/2 in here. So remember, x is greater than or equal to -1/2, smaller than or equal to 3/2. Okay, thanks.